Namaste, this is JVN Dr. Vishal Saxena, Associate Professor in Mathematics and Statistics in Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today I am going to discuss on the module sampling. This module sampling is a part of the course MSc NND, MSc Microbiology, MSc Food and Science Technology, which is also known as FST, and MSc Biotechnology, first semester of the university. This session of sampling is a very important part, that's why this is also a part of the some other courses of the university. And in this part of sampling, just today we are going to discuss about the concept and the meaning of sampling, and why we should use the process of sampling and its application part. Sampling, first of all, the sampling is a part of the hypothesis testing, and it is a very important part because of statistics and as well as biostatistics. Just biostatistics means that is the branch of the statistics which deals with the biological concepts, biological phenomena, and is useful for the various biological courses, biological programs, and just being that it is a part of the this is a part of the course MSc NND and MSc Biotechnology and various other courses. And sampling, just we can understand, it is a process, a procedure of selection of a sample from the population. First of all, we have to understand what is meaning of that sampling, and what are its uses. So right from the we can start that sampling just coming from the term of sampling process, and it is a very important part of the research methodology also, and important for the analysis and study of the population. Just as all we know that it's a group of individuals, and it may be finite or infinite, but having a large mass, a great number of individuals are included in the population, and which cannot be which cannot be determined, which cannot be analyzed by individually or in proper way. But with the process of the sampling, we can analysis, we can study the population, and that's why this sample and population is important. And sampling is just a procedure or the process of selection of a sample from the population. Suppose we have to analysis the average per capita income of an employee of a company, then a company which is a big company, and it is a suppose a multinational company, so having many employees, so it is difficult to analyze the whole company employee with their incomes, and that's why the sampling procedure is important. So in sampling, we just take a small sample of some employee from the whole population, and we will analysis the whole we will analysis the sample for the per capita income, and then we will conclude our result. We will analysis this sample for the whole population by some test, and we can just find out the results by the sample for the whole population. So this is the concept of the sampling, and sampling may be of different types. Sampling is important part, it is of different types. It may be probability sampling, or it may not be probabilistic sampling. So probability sampling and the non-probability sampling may also divide into several parts, and so we are taking some important parts of probabilistic and non-probabilistic sampling today, and we will take example for this to understand the sampling process also. So we are going to share some slides. Here just we are given that the sampling process types. The sampling can be divided into two parts, probabilistic sampling and non-probabilistic sampling. Definitely in the probabilistic sampling, the probabilistic sampling means where every element of the population can be included in the sample and with equal number of chance, but not in the non-probabilistic sampling. In the non-probabilistic sampling, every member of this population will not have the equal chance of including of the sample which is to be made by the population. So probabilistic sampling is defined as a sampling technique in which the researcher chooses samples from a larger population and with a method based on the theory of probability. So it is based on the probability, and every member is having equal chance to be included in the population, to be included in the sample. While in the non-probabilistic sampling, it is a kind of the sampling technique in which the researcher selects sample based on the subjective judgment of the researchers rather than random selection. So in this sampling means in the non-probabilistic sampling, the sampler just uses his own judgment or his own decision for selecting some elements to the sample and from a population, and it cannot be considered as a random selection procedure. So that is the non-probabilistic sampling. Now further we can divide the probabilistic sampling into several parts, and we are taking some very important parts of the probabilistic sampling today. So that is a simple random sampling. Simple random sampling means it is a kind of the sampling in which all the subsets of a sampling frame have an equal probability of being selected. So just therefore means every element is having the equal chances for being the selection in the sample, and all subsets of a sampling frame have equal probability of being selected. Each element of the frame thus has an equal probability of selection. Also, simple random sampling can be cumbersome and tedious when sampling frame a large target population. So if the population is a very large, then definitely simple random sampling will be a difficult method for the selection process of sample. Now second is the systematic sampling, and in the systematic sampling, that is also known as the interval sampling. So it relies on arranging the study population according to some ordering scheme and then selecting elements at regular intervals through that order list. So systematic sampling, that just it clears from its name. Systematic sampling means it is a kind of the sampling where a systematic procedure is applied and a particular order will be followed for the selection elements at regular intervals through the ordered list. So just in a ordered list, the selection of the elements will be taken in regular intervals. Systematic sampling involves a random start, and as long as the starting point is randomized, systematic sampling is a type of the probability sampling. Now next is the stratified sampling. It is a very important part of the probability sampling, and in a stratified sample, researchers divide a population into the homogeneous subpopulations called strata. So first, in the sampling, the researcher or the investigator divide the whole population into several parts, and these subpopulation, the several parts should be homogeneous, and these are called strata. So these this division will be based on the specific characteristics, like for example race, gender, location, etc. So it means initially the investigator will divide a population into homogeneous subpopulations, and these are called strata. Every member of the population should be in exactly one stratum. So now here, just every member of the population means every element of the population definitely belongs to one of the strata, just being made, and each stratum is then sampling using another probability sampling method, such as cluster or the sampler random sampling. Now by the cluster or the simple random sampling method, the every strata is now sampled, and by the like another method of the probabilistic sampling, like cluster or the sample random sampling. So every strata is now just sampled, and allowing researcher to estimate a statistical measure for each subpopulation. Stratified sampling is the best choice among the probability sampling methods when you believe that subgroups will have different mean values for the variables are studying. So this is a very good procedure. This is a good method of the probability sampling, and when the condition that subgroups will have the different mean values, the subgroups which have been taken, the will have the different mean values for the variables just which we are studying about this. So that is a stratified sampling, and that means overall we can say it is a kind of the sampling in which the population is divided into homogeneous subpopulations, and then every subgroup is sampled individually. Now next is the multi-stage sampling. Multi-stage sampling is a kind of the sampling in which the sampling procedure will be done in the stages form, like it is a complex form of the cluster sampling, and which contains two or more stages in the sample selection. So it will have the more number of stages for the sampling procedure, and in simple terms, a multi-stage sampling is a large in multi-stage sampling, large clusters of the populations are divided initially first into small clusters in the several stages, and then in order to make primary data collection more manageable. So in this sampling procedure, in the multi-stage sampling procedure, the population is divided into several small clusters, into several small parts, and then for the the data collection more manageable form. It has a drawback. It has to be acknowledged that multi-stage sampling is not as effective as the random sampling. So it is not so good as the random sampling, and it addresses certain disadvantages associated with the true random sampling. Next, just we are discussing about the non-probability sampling. That means it is a kind of the sampling where the researcher means the every element is not having the same equal chance for being the selection in the sample. So just we are going to, it's one part, very important part, that is a purposive sampling. Purposive sampling means it is a kind of the sampling in which the researcher or the investigator just selects the elements of for a sample by his own judgment or by his own criteria. So that's why it is called a non-probabilistic sampling, and it is just in the sampling in which the researcher relies on his or own judgment when choosing members of the population to participate in the study. So in this way we have studied about the sampling procedure today, and we have studied about the sampling, by what procedures the sampling can be done. We have seen different types of the sampling, and students are advised to prepare this topic with conceptual part, and study and prepare the objective as well as the descriptive questions from this topic. Thank you.